Let's take a look at this video of these little kids. They were offered the option of having 1 marshmallow immediately now or 2 marshmallows 15 minutes later, and you've got some very cute videotape of this experiment. So let's take a look. Okay, what we found is a very simple and direct way of measuring a competence that seems to make an important life difference. A researcher tells these preschoolers that she's going to leave the room if they wait for her to come back without eating the marshmallows. They'll get 2 marshmallows, or they can ring the bell and she'll come back right away, but then they only get 1 marshmallow. I would, baby, though you won't ring the bell. Okay, looking at children over time. Dr. Michelle has found that being able to wait longer at 4 has some pretty powerful implications, and what are those powerful implications is that later in life, they're more disciplined and have more self-control. Is that pretty much it? Well, they are more likely to achieve their life goals. They have better relationships. They did better on their SI. Is crazy, all because they waited 15 minutes for Don't Wash Me, and I think it is crazy. I probably would have eaten all 3, but yeah, me too. But you know, actually yes, the ability to be able to pursue your goals. In this case it was stabbed 2 marshmallows versus 1, and not going automatic and just grab the marshmallow is a very important skill. But I think a main point in mind in the making is that these skills can be cut if you re 14 or 40 or 4. It's not ever too late, and any child can learn them, any adult can teach them, and it's never too late.
Protons are finally transferred to the LHC, both in a clockwise and an anti-clockwise direction, where they are accelerated for 20 minutes to 6.5 TeV. Beams circulate for many hours inside the LHC beam pipes under normal operating conditions. For each collision, the physicist's goal is to count, track and characterize all the different particles. The charge of the particle, for instance, is obvious since particles with positive electric charge bend one way and those with negative charge bend the opposite way. Also, the momentum of the particle can be determined. Large Hadron Collider (LHC) is the world's largest particle accelerator. Lies in a tunnel. The LHC is a ring roughly 28 kilometers around that accelerates protons almost to the speed of light before colliding them head-on. Protons are particles found in the atomic nucleus, roughly 1,000 millionth of a meter in size. The LHC starts with a bottle of hydrogen gas, which is sent through an electric field to strip away the electrons, leaving just the protons. Electric and magnetic fields are the key to a particle accelerator.
The birth rates increased during 20th century, but it starts to decrease over these last 2 decades. In the year 2000, as an example, the birth rate remained at around 1.1%-1.2%. Birth rates dropped to its lowest point that has never been seen in the society. There are even some negative birth rates in other countries. The reason is that the Western countries' women are becoming more and more reluctant to give birth to babies, especially those young women under 30 years old. However, the male status in society remains as strong as it ever has in recent years. It also has impacts on male in the society, especially young man, and it might have some connection with unemployment rates as well.
Cities are interesting palaces. Some cities are carefully planned and built for a reason and reflect the needs of the people as it grows. Others are less consciously designed. Paris, for example, was originally founded in the 3rd century as a small village, and with every passing generation it grew in size and importance. It grew from medieval city to a modern city, but the transition was not always smooth. Emperor Napoleon III had to hire someone to oversee the rebuilding of Paris. The man he chose was Haussmann. In 1853, Haussmann began the process of renovating France's capital city. His basic instructions were to bring the light and air into the central district, improve the sanitation and living areas, and make Paris a more modern, beautiful city. Not your average weekend renovation. Haussmann's project includes the destruction of old medieval neighborhood, widening of streets, building large parks and public squares, an addition of fountains and sewer lines. To add all this, the size of Paris had to be increased, doubled actually, and the Napoleons III issued official decree annexing nearby suburbs to make them part of the city. One of the main priorities of the massive renovation was to connect all the districts together. If we think of Paris like a house, each district was its own room, existing essentially independently of the other districts. Napoleon III wanted to be easier to travel between the most important districts and to create a sense of being one unified city, not a series of independent neighborhoods. So Haussmann created large avenue that connected districts. More than that, he made all the avenues look roughly the same. Buildings on a major avenue were required to be roughly the same height and style, and even had used the same cream color stones for the facade. The result was to remove any local characteristic and create a uniform Paris. For the first time, the city has a specific look, a style that people began to associate not with the districts but with Paris itself.
The basis of all life on Earth is the cell. All creatures on Earth are made of cells. I am not gonna dwell on the biology of cells and much it is not that relevant. But I do want to point out a few things. First of all, there are two sorts of cells. As we think all the prokaryotic cell, which is fairly simple and it is the thing that all bacteria are made of. And then we have a eukaryotic cell, much more complicated beasts on the right, which did not appear until well into the history of the biosphere on Earth. And there are many single-celled eukaryotes. But there are also and importantly multicellular organisms and all of those are based on the eukaryotic cell.
If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more PTE-related content. Don't forget to leave a comment below letting me know what you think, or if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. I will meet you soon at our next video.